Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some flower brushes. Really excited about this one. This is my own little creation here, so I can't wait to show it to you. I'm going to show you step by step how to paint these from start to finish, and I'll be keeping it very beginner friendly, so we can all husband do this. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. All right, so here is my reference photo. It was actually photoshopped by moi. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm pretty notoriously terrible on Photoshop, so don't look too closely on the edges. But it just gives us a starting point. So I really thought this would be a fun one to do on a long canvas. So we're going to be using an 8 by 16 inch canvas by Fredrix. This is the, I don't have my thing for it. Oh, there it is. Right here. It is a mixed media plein air board. So it's solid core, so it's solid all the way through. But they've got a really nice soft, like smooth surface, so they're really great for painting on. So thank you to Fredrix for providing our canvas, and we've got a few brushes that we'll be using. I'm going to be using a large number 2 red line Princeton brush for the background, or you can use a just a large like hog bristle brush or something like that. And then I've got just a few detail brushes. These are just going to be for filling in the brush handles and things like that. We've got a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch Velvet Touch, a couple of Filberts. These are the number 4 and number 8 Filberts, and a number 1 and a number 4 round, and then the 1/4 inch Willows blender and a fan brush. So those will be our brushes for today. So thank you to Princeton for providing those. Let's go over our colors really quick. I've got scooch that way a little bit. Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Medium, Cadmium Red Light, Yellow Oxide. Sorry, that one's Yellow Oxide. Cadmium Yellow Medium, Phthalo Green Yellow Shade, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Ultramarine Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber, and Carbon Black. This is Titanium White, Unbleached Titanium, and over here I put some light ultramarine and teal. These are both mixed colors, so they're optional. You can mix them with whatever the other colors that are on the palette. The teal is just Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green plus white, and then this one is just white plus ultramarine blue. So, all right, so let's do our background really fast. Hello to everybody, and hope you...
I'm going to give you -2 points because you messed up on one color.
What did I say?
I don't know. You were something about the yellow or something. You got it wrong. So.
-2 for that?
Yeah, there might be some bonus points available at the end of the show. But
okay, I try better.
Okay.
Try harder. All right, so I've wet down my brush. I'm going to go ahead and spray my canvas just a couple of times. I've just got regular tap water in here. If you've got a high mineral... live in a high mineral area, you might want to use distilled water or filtered water of some sort, if you're concerned about that. But I'm just going to grab a little bit of paint and slap it on here. This is Yellow Oxide, and I'm just going to do a really simple kind of wood-ish, faux wood background. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because we want to have plenty of time today for the flowers. So the water, what it does is if you spray your canvas ahead of time, especially like a dry canvas like this one, what it'll do is it softens up those fibers and the canvas, especially if you're using like a cheaper canvas. This one is fairly smooth, so it's already, pretty soft, pretty welcoming to paint, accepting to paint, but a really dry coarse canvas will not want to, it'll just kind of, your paint will just kind of skim on the top of it. And so this just makes it a little bit easier for that paint to kind of absorb down in there. So now I got a little bit of burnt sienna on my brush. While this paint is wet, I'm just going to go through here, trying to get that bottom corner. Hello, get that paint on there. And I'm going to switch between going this way with my brush and going full sideways. So, and you can see how I kind of tapped it like that, that will separate those bristles out so that you've got them kind of flared out like that. That's what we want for this kind of faux wood grain. We want them to kind of flare out so that we can kind of skim them across there and they'll create these kind of lines for us. And I want to do this quickly so that that yellow oxide doesn't fully dry. Because I want to do several different colors here. So I don't want to go too slow here. I'm going to speed up now that you kind of see what I'm doing. Grab some burnt umber. Do the same thing with that. And I'm going to have to move back. This is a big brush. It's got a long handle and it's almost hitting me in the chest here. And if you've got fluid acrylics, you could also use those. Fluid acrylics will do this even a little bit smoother.
I'll have to borrow some from you. I don't have any.
I have some sitting off the side here. They don't have burnt umber in the fluid acrylics, in golden fluid acrylics. So I prefer burnt umber to the light burnt umber that they have. All right, and now I'm going to go back in with the side of the brush and just kind of add some darker areas.
So you dipped the brush in the water when you first started it and you haven't gone back?
I really haven't. I did it once, I think, since then. Just once, maybe. Okay. And then I can switch to a smaller brush, the angle brush here, and grab a little bit of black with that burnt umber, and I'm going to wet it down so it's kind of watery, but it's a dark brown. I'm just going to go through here and do some lines in my wood. And if you want to do any knots or anything like that, you can do those here with this brush. Do some little round areas, and then the wood grain kind of goes around those spots. So kind of do almost like an eye shape if you want to do anything fancy like that. Most of this is going to be covered up by your brushes, so I'm not going to go too much detail with this, but this is kind of fun. You can really have fun with this. You could do a color. So if you wanted to do like a weathered wood, I thought that it would really look cool if you did like a crackle finish on the wood, so it looked like it was like a crackled paint back here. If I thought about it, that would have been smart. That would have been really good to do, actually. Now I'm really sad. I didn't think about that.
All right.
At the time.
Do we need to go out, come back in?
Well, it's too late now because the crackle finish, you have to prepare it ahead of time because you gotta let the undercoat dry completely, and then you gotta put the crackle coat on top, your crackle medium, and then let that dry completely, and then you go in with your finished paint, and you have to put it on pretty quickly, and then the undercoat kind of cracks, and you can see the undercoat through the top layers. It kind of reveals itself. So it's pretty cool. If you ever tried it, I would definitely recommend doing it. I used it a lot when I did my wood paintings. I had a lot of...
There was a phase
where I did a lot of crackle.
A lot of people did a lot of crackle. And snap and pop.
As opposed to crack.
Are very
which
upset.
we did not do. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm going to let you have that, honey. Take that to dry really quick. Or, well, I mean, I guess I could... Yeah, let's just let you dry that. Are you prepared? You weren't ready.
No, I didn't know I was going to be doing this.
Sorry.
Oh, that's light.
I know, it's very light. Super light. All right, let me get our Stickman out here. So let's see the progression of Stickman here. I'm trying to remember which one is our first. I think this one was our first Stickman ever. And that was last year because I remember we did the ladybugs. That was, I think, in between. There's our penguin Christmas. There's our fishing pole one. And all the birds are... so I'm trying to find the one that we were working on right now. I can't find him. I thought he was in this stack. Oh, he's in our sketchbook. That's what it is. Sorry. There he is. Okay, so let's add something to Stickman here. And I'm going to have Mark take this big brush and clean it out. I'm not going to try to clean it out of my water, this big one that's sitting up here, because it will just make my whole water completely muddy. So let's give her a brush in one hand. She's holding a lot of stuff. Mark says it's a boy, but I think, I don't know, we'll see. Wasted a lot of time trying to find it. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. That's not nice. We're trying.
Wow. Hey, that's awesome. I like that.
Be quiet. Mark.
Stickman is ready to go out on the town tonight.
Okay, there we go. Stickman's got a flower brush and a book on it, resting on his arm, and then I'm holding a bell. I don't know what they're going to be doing, but it's going to be interesting. I don't know what kind of party that is they're going to, but he's prepared. All right. Can you take this too and clean that out for me while you... I know, I'm sorry. I've got you weren't running errands for me.
Am I going to be able to watch the show?
No.
Okay. Well.
I got something else for you once you get back. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. I've got to get this paint off my hand. Sorry about that, guys. The sides had paint on them. Okay. So I'm really excited about this one. This one is an idea that I've had for a while. I actually had a t-shirt that was kind of like this. It was like, well, I have a t-shirt. I still have it. That had brushes that had like flowery, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But anyhow, it was similar to this idea. So, anyhow, okay, so let's use, I'm just going to use regular school chalk for this. I might use a pastel pencil. I'm not sure how, yeah, that might work better. Let's try the pastel pencil. So I'm going to do 9 brushes across here. So I want to do my first one right in the middle here. And it's going to span like right about here. We want to leave enough room up here for our flowers. So we don't want them to go down too far. I want to leave a little bit of room at the top and bottom of the canvas just as a margin. So we're going to do like right there. I'm just going to mark 4 more, kind of try to space them out evenly. 1, 2, 4. So there's 1, 2. This one's going to have to be a little closer. 3. All right, hello. 2, 3. There, that should do. Okay, sorry. And you could obviously use a ruler if you want these to be equal distance. I don't really think that matters too much. You just want to make sure that you have room for 4 on each side. It's a lot of brushes to fit in here. Okay, so let's start on this side. And we'll just do 1, 2. Okay, that's about right. Okay. And some of them are wider than others, so I'm really not worried at all about the width of these brushes at all. I'm just going to try to get them all sort of semi on the same level, but some of them you can see are a little higher than others. Like this one is, the end of it is way up here. This one's way down here. So there's really no right or wrong way of doing this. We're just going to kind of put our brushes in here. So I want to start out with kind of a box shape, like a square almost, and then it narrows in on either side. There's going to be a line right here that parallels this line. So we'll do a rectangle for the silver part of the, or the middle part of the brush, and then it narrows in. And then all these handles have a little bit different shapes. So this one here is kind of comes back out and then comes to a point. And I might do that a little shorter just so that it doesn't come so close to the edge of the canvas. There we go. Just try to get them symmetrical. What you can do is, if you're having trouble getting these symmetrical, what you can do is do them on paper and then just transfer them from your paper. So draw them out on paper, and then you can flip your paper. You draw one half of your brush and then fold your tracing paper down this center line and then trace the other side of the brush. And then when you open it up, it'll have it perfectly symmetrical. So I've done that before on butterfly paintings and dragonfly. I think I showed it on my dragonfly painting, the big dragonfly that I did a couple of years ago. So here we go. Here's our center brush. This is very noisy. Is it too much like chalkboard?
No.
Nails on chalkboard?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to keep on going here.
All right.
Let's do this one a little bit taller.
Do this one a little bit taller.
Are you repeating everything I'm saying?
No, I'm just translating.
Why? Am I talking really softly?
No.
Okay.
No.
This one comes in a little more narrow right here.
A little more narrow right here.
Stop.
I like the idea from that show we watched the other night.
That was hilarious. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. What was that called? That was a Comedians in Dangerous Places or something, and there was a interpreter.
Yeah.
They were speaking English and he was interpreting in English. It was hilarious. It just cracked me up. He was doing his job. That was great. So you're going to interpret. Well, they do that on that Swamp People show. I haven't watched it very often, but every now and then I'll watch it, and they're speaking southern
English.
Louisiana twang, and it is so hard to understand. They have subtitles for what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's like awesome. You're speaking English, but I can't understand what you're saying.
I wonder if they do that in other countries. People just have a really
certain
thick,
regions have different thick accents.
Like in French, and they got to put the French subtitles up so people can understand it.
Maybe. All right, so narrow here. And if you want to too, it can help to do like a straight line down. So that way you're getting equal distance from that outside edge. That one's really short. And then, this is taking a while. But you do want to take your time on this and get these brushes symmetrical, because otherwise it'll look kind of weird. Although we're really going to be pretty, I'm going to go fairly impressionist with this style, so it can be slightly interpretive, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's art. You do you. Okay, so that one's a little bit longer. I just like the idea of all these being like different sizes too. I don't know what this, just when I saw the picture of the brushes lined up, I was like, yes, I have to do that. And then I added the flowers. Just a little bit lower here. And then this one's pretty short. Yeah, and it's got like a longer area of the wood showing underneath. And it's also there we go. So there's one half of our brushes. Cute. These are going to be really fun.
Well, which pencil are you using?
This is a Stabilo Carbothelio pastel pencil. It's just a pastel pencil. Water-soluble pencil would work too, like a watercolor pencil. This was the Aquarelle all-surface pencil that I've used before. Chalk would work. Let me see. The chalk is probably faster, actually, because it's smoother. It's going to go on, but it's going to be a little heavier. I'm going to go a little higher than this one. It's just making a lot of noise. It's weird. Sounds like tricycle wheels. Rusty tricycle wheels. Doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's going on.
This is a lot about my childhood that I knew.
Yeah, in your mind where you just made that connection. Flashbacks.
My tricycle wheels were always rusty, I'm sure. Leaving it outside. Okay, there we go. Trying to get that square.
So do you have a tutorial where you've done a wood background that's in kind of the old barnwood colors?
Oh, old barnwood colors.
Yeah, like I'm guessing like a grayish color.
Oh, like gray wood. Trying to think.
Well, so I'm making it harder now. So somebody just asked what colors would they use to get that kind of effect. And I thought maybe you already had one in the 300 whatever videos.
I kind of think I do. I'm just trying to remember what it would have been.
Rooster?
Yeah, I know I did red and teal background for the roosters.
Somebody said on a thankful wreath.
Yes, that's the one.
Man, you have got some pretty good fans out there.
That's the one, I know. Thank you, whoever that was.
Okay, so Ray gets bonus points.
Thank you, Ray.
I think she's slightly in the lead right now. But there's a lot of time left in the show.
I'm behind. She's got more points than I do at this point. I think. After my opening problems. Okay, there we go. So these are all kind of just a little bit different, which I really like. Okay, there we go. So there's all our brushes, all kind of lined up there. These two are much higher than the others, so it's kind of fun. And when I put the flowers on too, I deliberately made some of them really short and some of them really tall. So I kind of separated out my spiky flowers from my shorter flowers so that I had some good flow to the height of the flowers. So,
and then
all right.
Somebody also said the sage and thyme painting. You had like the dried.
Oh, that's right. Yep, I sure did. Yeah. Yep. That's right. That one's a darker gray. And then the thankful art one, the thankful wreath was the
I'm glad somebody remembers what we do.
Yeah. I know. I think we have 300 now. I think we hit 300 this week sometime. 300 video. We have more than that because we've done the video, 300 public ones. And then we have another 14 or so, 15 bonus videos. Something like that. Okay, so I think I'm going to use a 1/4 inch brush. I'm just going to try to find a brush that will easily fit into that area of our handles here. And I could do this 2 ways. I could go through here and do my shadowing around my brushes first, but I think what I'm going to do is put my brushes on first, and then I'll shadow and then do another coat on the brushes over the top, I think. Well, I don't know. Actually, let's go ahead and do the shadow first, because I think it'll be easier to do the shadow and not have to try to paint around our brushes and not get the shadow color on top of them. So, ouch, this will not open for me. There we go. Used up all my burnt umber on the background. Okay, so I'm still gonna use this brush. I'm gonna go ahead and get some glazing liquid. This will just make it go on transparent onto the canvas. Make it a little bit easier to control that transparency. So let me grab that burnt umber, some of that glazing liquid, and I'm gonna get a little bit of ultramarine blue too. It'll make it kind of gray. And I'm gonna go a little heavier on the burnt umber than the blue, so that it's gray that's brown leaning gray. There's my glazing liquid. And we're just going to go through here and add a shadow. And I'm really not worried too much about having a solid line there. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to bring out that brush a little bit more even if there is a line. And this one is not as wide, so a little bit narrower on the other side. And I'm going to go up high with it. Get some black here. I'm going to actually go up a little bit higher, so where our flowers are going to be, we'll also have a shadow. You're making a lot of noise over there.
I know, I'm opening up cookies.
Oh, is that your last box?
This is it.
Sad.
It's technically out of date, but I'm going to live dangerously.
I can't believe you let them go out of date. You did buy a lot of those, though.
It's only a few days.
Okay. And I can use my finger to kind of rub off the edges. If you want them to be a little softer, what you can do is just load the tip of the brush instead of the whole brush. Just use the, I'll show that. If you just kind of run the tip through the paint and then use that along that edge, you'll get a little bit softer line there than this, where I've got a little harder edge on there. But I can go back in with some water and just kind of soften up that edge a little bit if I want to. I'm going to use a little softer look. You are crunching over there.
Mm-hmm. They're good. It's a better sounding crunch than like a carrot or something like that.
Really? Okay, is that why you eat them? I don't believe you. It's awesome. Okay. Keeping on going down here. I really probably should have started from this end. So I didn't put my hand in it. But you know me. Got to do it the hard way, so. What's the fun in it if you don't put your hand in the paint, right? I mean, come on. That's half the fun. It's getting all messy. All right. Going up a little higher than my brush handle, and we can add our shadow to our flower areas after if we need to, but I think this is going to be smart. I think we'll be glad we did this ahead of time. It'll speed things up when we're doing our painting. We won't have to worry about the handle. So again, we're doing a little bit darker on this side and a little bit lighter on this other side. And if you're doing something like this and you're worried about, because this is kind of going to be, once we get this on here, if you make a mistake, you don't want to have to wipe off, what you've already done. So what you could do is do this layer and then go ahead and glaze over the top of the whole canvas with a isolation coat. What that'll do is protect your background, so that if you do make a mistake and need to wipe it off, you won't wipe off the under layer of paint, which shouldn't be too much of a trouble, as long as you don't press really hard. But on some projects, and this one, we are, the background is so, specific, you don't want to have to try to replicate these lines, so if you did make a mistake, you wouldn't want to have to go back in and try to fix it and put in those lines again to match. So, see, that's lifting right there just a little bit. What was I talking? Okay. And this is where you do have to make sure that you are getting it right up to that edge. I'm going over the line just a little bit so that I don't have to worry about covering this. But the nice thing is that this is, this is all kind of, we want the brushes to be symmetrical, so just want to make sure that you're keeping them symmetrical, keeping your shadows symmetrical too, so you don't have to kind of come back here and fix anything later or add more shadow later. Alrighty, this is looking good. Last one. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our shadows in there, and we may end up wanting to go back through and darken those up even more, but we'll see how it goes. They're a little bit patchy in places. All right, so let's start filling in our brush handles, and use a little bit of burnt umber with my red just to tone it down just a little bit.
Okay, got a question.
Okay.
Said that you just mentioned using an isolation coat.
Yes.
Can they use a clear gesso for that coat?
Yeah, you can. What it'll dull the gesso. The clear gesso is not completely clear. It's kind of like a matte medium would be. You know, it's got stuff in it that will kind of dull it just a little bit, dull your paints just a little bit, but I don't think it'll be a big deal with this brown background. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. So yeah, that would be a good choice. If you had a really bright background, I probably wouldn't use clear gesso. I would probably use like a gloss gel or something like that that's watered down. You could even use your glazing liquid and just, you know, do a thin coat with the glazing liquid. It's all, I talked about it actually in my art chat on in Thankful Art this week, but basically all acrylic mediums are, oh, whoops, that bottom part was a different color. All acrylic mediums are made out of acrylic polymer, so they're all pretty much variations of the same material. They just have additives, different additives and things. So I'm gonna get that burnt umber, put a little burnt umber in my little circle area there. Shadow that hole, and I need, let's get some yellow oxide in my unbleached titanium here. This bottom part was supposed to be pink, or not pink, it's turning pink. That's why I've said that. It's supposed to be white or kind of cream colored, which is fine. I actually kind of like that it's turning a little bit of pink. There we go. Come on, get some of that yellow. Just do a second coat on here. There we go. This reminds me a little bit of the fishing lures that we did. You know, it's got that same kind of feel to me. So let's use this yellow oxide, some of this unbleached titanium.
But half is awesome.
Huh?
But half is awesome.
Half is awesome because it's not fish.
Well, I mean, it's paintbrushes with flowers. I mean,
oh, the other one was half as awesome. Okay, because I was going to be like, this is way awesomer.
No, you had it right the first time.
Okay. We agreed to disagree on that. Right there. Just agree to disagree. And where are you sleeping tonight?
Well, not the spare room. It's still full of all of our Christmas stuff. Good thing Jordan moved out because...
Yeah. Yeah, good thing we have a guest room full of crap.
I just don't have to put it back in the attic.
We just threw it in there and closed the door. It was like...
It's
don't
gone.
have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's nice. And just keep adding stuff in there until we won't be able to walk in there anymore. And then it's time to clean it up, I guess. All right, so this is that yellow oxide. I kind of wish I'd gone a little narrower there on there, but that's all right. This time I'll remember to stop before I get to the bottom. Do the red at the bottom of this one. And I'm going to paint these in kind of patchy, sort of almost like Impressionist style. You can already see how, like, just doing that shadow underneath, it already looks like dimensional, doesn't it? It's pretty cool how that works. Okay, so let's do a second coat on this guy. There we go. I think this is... I think I put the hole on this one like a little off center or something because it looks like it's leaning a little bit. What am I looking for? Let's just do this color all down. We'll do assembly line. We'll do this color wherever we see it needs it, and then we'll come back and put our other colors in. This one is at the diagonal. All right, go a little bit brighter on this one. Really just filling this in. It's going to be kind of a slow-ish process for this part. It's probably going to be the most, not tedious, but the most challenging part maybe, is just trying to get these, you know, filled in symmetrically. The flowers are going to be very simple, I think. We're going to do them very easy style, very impressionist style. What you could do with this, if you have the right kind of tape, there is this painter's tape that's kind of flexible that you can use around corners, and you could go in and use that on here if you wanted to and tape off these edges. Might be a way of simplifying it a little bit. Yeah, they're definitely hand painted, you can tell. They're not exactly square. That's okay. That's kind of what makes it painterly. We just call it painterly. We'll just make mistakes and call it painterly. How's that? No mistakes in art. Happy accidents. All right, making kind of a light brown color here with the burnt sienna and the yellow oxide and my unbleached titanium. So it's just like a lighter version of what we did in the background here for this guy. A little bit browner.
So we'll take the opportunity to say hello to everybody again. And I've noticed we've had some people from Thailand
Ooh.
and Germany.
Nice.
And all the unusual suspect home locations. Oh, we had somebody bragging about being in Hawaii too, like blah, 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 Hawaii.
Wow.
I heard it snowed there in Hawaii this past week. And I guess, it's
Has
not...
that ever happened before? Like, does it happen?
Yeah, I guess there's a mountain or volcano that's tall enough to where it snows, but I think it's snowed down to a lower elevation than it has in the past.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's like global warming.
I know.
But anyways, welcome to the channel. If you're new, hope you hit the subscribe button, check out all the videos. And like the video too, if you like it.
And if you want a traceable for this, it'll be available on patreon.com/AngelsFineArt.
Oh, wait a minute, I missed it.
Using a burnt sienna here.
There it is.
Just go along this one edge with it. Tap it into that wet paint. So yeah, if you don't want to draw, you don't want to have to worry about it. You just you do your background color, just like I did, and then just use the tracing paper to trace on your design.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, since it's an 8 by 8 by, if you use the same size canvas, when you print it, you could print it in smaller sections, So maybe do 2 prints, like crop it here and crop it there, and then print it onto full-size pages, and it should be about the right size for the canvas if you print it out like 8 by 10. All right, let's see here. So this one, let's just go back to this now. This one's red. We get all our tan. Doing a little bit brighter red on this one. It seems like a little bit brighter than that last one was.
I remember when we lived in Phoenix, it snowed.
Did it?
Yep. We were there when it snowed, and we were there when it was 124 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's bad. And I was pregnant in that.
Mm-hmm. They had to close the airport temporarily. They couldn't land aircraft. The air was
remember that.
too thin.
I am not surprised you remember that.
I just remember the really important stuff.
Exactly.
Your
stuff.
Your birthday, our anniversary, pretty much a lot about airplanes.
Mix some burnt sienna in here with that red for this one. Yeah. Mark wanted to be a fighter pilot. That was Top Gun days, so I can see why.
Well, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Right.
So one of the easier ways to become an astronaut was to be a fighter pilot.
I see.
But I just didn't have the health for it.
Yeah. Well, you were allergic to bees, right? Or something?
No, it's my heart murmur.
Ah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So now it's just the exciting life of a...
Sitting down at a desk jockey.
Of a desk jockey in a cube farm.
It's nice that you didn't turn bitter, that you didn't have... Hey, at least you work for an airplane company.
I do,
so
yep.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you can't fly them, at least build them, right?
Exactly.
This should be a saying. If you can't fly them, build them. Should make a t-shirt out of that for you. Sorry, we're having our own private conversation, guys, here. I got a comment. Oh, I think I got paint in my hair just now. I got a comment the other day on one of my videos that said, "Can you talk less?" And I was like, "Nope."
Yeah, you can mute it.
Yeah, I was like, "Nope." Try the volume button. Oh gosh. Yeah. I guess I could be giving my artistic wisdom here, but I really don't feel like I have much. I'm not very lofty.
So
I can't speak art speak very well.
So these brushes look like they're very weathered and worn, like they've seen the trials of humanity,
right,
and bear the scars of different rooms and been left behind, and now nature is taking over by growing flowers out of them for
Ooh, peace. I like
for
that.
Peace, for rebirth.
Hey, honey.
For hope.
I do like that. Actually, that's a very good symbolism. In all honesty, it's a good life analogy, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I need to bring the bottom of that brush out just a little bit. I kind of did it a little too narrow.
That could be an interesting channel. Life Analogies by Stickman.
You really hung up on getting your own channel. You talk about that
I mean,
a lot.
I see how successful you are at it.
Right. How hard could it be?
Come on, hello. I have zero talent. I should be able to do something. I drink coffee pretty good.
You should have a channel about that.
Yeah, just sitting there drinking coffee.
Okay.
I mean, people watch videos of just cats playing. I mean, come on, seriously.
Hey, I watch those videos, so stop it. Those are very cool.
Okay, maybe then I'll just roll
I
around
watched
and
puppy
play with
videos the other day. I'm going through dog withdrawals. We lost our dog this fall. I miss him, so I watch dog videos and cry. I don't know why I do it to myself. I swear I do it almost once a week. It's really sad.
Man, you know how to party when I go to sleep.
It's really sad. Okay, I just outed myself. Yep. Yep. That's true. It's true. It's sad but true.
I have a feeling you won't be doing the same, when the cats move on.
No. I've lost cats before. I lost Tucker. I was very close to him. And it didn't hurt me nearly as much as losing Scooter. Mm-hmm. Something about that. It's just been really difficult. He is my little buddy. And it's been like months. Mm-hmm. I thought it's probably good to do that, though. It's good to think about him and grieve.
Oh,
so.
Heck yeah.
All right, we gotta stop talking about him. I'm gonna start crying again.
Okay, so we'll just paintbrushes with paintbrushes.
We're painting paintbrushes with paintbrushes.
That's like
I like it.
Throwing the empty box of trash bags into the trash bag.
I've got burnt umber here. Adding a little bit of the unbleached titanium just to cut it down just slightly. I added a little bit of unbleached titanium there to just a little highlight on top of to give it a second coat because it was kind of patchy. Just a little bit different color. And when I'm painting these in, I'm really kind of just dabbing it using this brush, and so it's going on kind of softly. The edges are a little bit blurred. They're not super sharp and crisp. That'll give it that kind of impressionistic feel that we're going for. And if you do, if you want it super clean, you just go in and like do straighter lines. But if we want it kind of impressionistic style, I'm kind of dabbing it as I paint. And that kind of gives it that sort of choppy, brush strokey feel. It won't be the lines won't be as clean, but it'll kind of look a little bit more artistic, I think. Or, I don't know, I just think that it's kind of cool for this particular one to do it that way. Especially I went through and added a filter to the photo once I photoshopped it, because it was, very crisp and everything, and then I photoshopped it to blur it a little bit more even. Go with a little bit of red here at the very bottom of the brush. Yeah, see, I can tell that I'm going to go and get some black. I'm just going to, whoa, too much black. Put a little bit along one side there. Shadow the bottom of that brush there. Softening up that whole thing, and then I'm going to go back in with the red and just kind of put a little bit more of a crisp line there. There we go. Make that stick out a little bit better. Okay, now what are we doing? So we did this one. Let's do this one over here. More red. It starts out red and then it gets real patchy. And we're going to, once we get this all on here and it's dry, what we're going to do is we're going to add like a shadow along one edge of all of these brushes. Glaze a shadow along either end, and that'll give it that roundedness, because right now they're looking pretty flat. So not to worry, we'll get it looking, a little bit more dimensional as we go. And down here, I'm going to switch over to yellow and Unbleached Titanium. Yeah, it's mixing with that red in my brush, but I don't really mind. It's this one's got a lot of colors happening on it. I like that these are kind of weathered looking, and so there's really no right or wrong way of doing this. You could use any colors you wanted really on this and it would still look good. So I'm gonna just use a little bit of this yellow and just bring that up and dab it over the top of that wet red. Create some smudgy marks on him. And then this one has got some red right around the opening right here. So I'm going to start with that. Do that first. How you doing, hon?
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Go back and touching up some of that red over there. Okay. Fun. Let's grab some phthalo blue, some of this teal. Make kind of a darker teal blue. And we all know I picked this picture because of this color, so it's just to be honest. This month we used a lot of teal. I noticed I was on a teal kick last month when I was picking my projects for this month, because next week or Tuesday we're doing cherry blossoms that have like a green, it's all like mint green color with the cherry blossoms. It's going to be super cute, and I think it's going to be really easy. It's going to be one that you could do with your kids. I know it's not, like going to be like a masterpiece art, kind of thing, but I think it'll be accessible for a lot of people. So I like to do those every now and then. It's been a while since we've done a really, really easy one. So this one will be really easy on Tuesday. So if you're like looking for something like that to paint with some friends or something, somebody's never painted before ever, that'll be the one for it. It'll be a good one. Let's grab some of the Unbleached Titanium and just add some of that color in. Dab it. Get some of that brownish.
Is that a technical color?
Brownish.
Brownish?
Yeah. To be in my paint palette colors.
Dirty white?
Dirty white.
Brownish?
Brownish. I can't remember. Did you write them all down? I think you had them written down at some point.
Yeah, I have them written down somewhere. Cad blue?
Mm-hmm. That was an accident. I think there actually is cadmium other colors that I just don't use, but there might be a cad blue for all I know.
I don't think so.
Using some white here, just going to mix with that teal color. And I'm going to go and use it up here because this part has got some of that blue as well. It kind of goes up into the silver part. It's covered with it too. And try to do just a slightly different color right up here so that you can kind of tell it's different. There we go.
We had unburnt blue. And charred umber.
Charred umber. I don't remember that one.
It's written down.
I don't remember what color it was. You need to write down what colors.
Well, I think I said anyway. You got burnt umber and right. So if it was just charred, I mean,
I don't know. Okay, this is unbleached titanium here. Just tapping in. There we go. I'm going to do a light pink color for right here. And use some yellow oxide on this guy. Sienna. Okay, so now I'm just going through and kind of adding highlights here. Just going to kind of try to see what other colors I'm seeing in these brushes so that I can give them a little bit extra dimension so they're not completely flat. So like over here on this one, I'm going to grab some Unbleached Titanium and mix it with that red, and just going to go in here and add a highlight down one side of the brush there. Not too bright, it's pretty subtle, so all right, and then let's do a little bit darker. Actually get some burnt umber. And I'm going to do Quinacridone Magenta with the red, so make that kind of a cherry red darker. Let's just use purple with the Quinacridone and red. There we go. That'll make kind of a soft, or like a dark burgundy color. I'm going to just do it right here. Kind of goes up middle of this handle a little bit there, and there's some on here. Maybe get some burnt umber for this one, a little bit darker. Grab some red, mix that in, and just kind of soften up that edge there. And then white Unbleached Titanium here. And add some of that on this side, just like we did over here, just kind of a highlight over here. Dabbing it on very lightly, not a lot of paint on my brush. Not really dry brushing, but it's close. Maybe a little bit of yellow.
They want to know, have you seen the Princeton brushes with the red rubber handles that are more comfier?
No.
For gripping?
Ooh. I need to try those. I have not. See, lighter, kind of a light diagonal right there. And add some of this red down here just to dirty it up just a little bit. Do I need to zoom in, or are we good? Can you see? Okay. I feel like we're kind of far away.
We'll see what they say.
I'm going in with that burnt umber. I'm going to darken up the holes in the brushes here. Kind of a wash of burnt umber. This should be close to the shadow color. You can leave a little bit lighter. We'll go in here and shadow our brush. All right, let's add some streaks of brown to this one.
We have another question.
Okay.
They say that it seems like they still use way more paint than you do.
Okay.
Is it the paint brand or brushes that make the difference? Or is it
Are
just
you-
a person to person?
Are you? Well, I would need to know what kind of paints they're using, and right now, like, because heavy body acrylics go farther than thinner acrylics. So that would be if they're using like a craft acrylic or something like that, it's not going to cover nearly as well as something like this that I'm using, the professional acrylics. Also, using enough water makes a big difference.
Okay, they've chimed in and said that they use a student quality.
Student quality. So you will use more student quality paints. That's just normal. You're going to need 2 coats to my 1 coat probably with a student quality paint. So that's pretty normal. I dirtied that up way too much. I can't even see it anymore. Get some of that yellow oxide here and just touch up that bottom edge there. Grabbing a little bit of white with this Unbleached Titanium. Add a little white highlights to some of these. Wipe the brush off. So I put the paint down and then I just kind of push it around to blend out those edges if I need to. Use some yellow oxide here. Okay, so I don't know if you're catching how patchy these are, but they're trying to create texture on these brushes. Okay, get a little bit more of that white right here. Some yellow mixed with my red for this guy, for the highlights on this guy. Same thing for this. This is yellow oxide with the red. And getting some of that background red color and just kind of softening up a little bit. Doesn't have to be the exact same red either. It can be a little bit different. It's kind of a dip here, sort of a V shape. It's happening in that highlight right there. And there's a little highlight on either side of the brush up here. I'm coming in just a little bit from the edge because we're going to do a dark edge right here. So that'll be darker. Okay, let's start putting in our color up top too. So I'm going to use black and white to create a gray, and mostly use white, but every now and then I'll pick up a little bit of that gray. It'll just be there to kind of tone everything down. I'm going to use a little bit of unbleached titanium too, and go across here. And I want to do this first because those brushes are going to be coming up out of this and overlapping it a little bit, so we just want to be sure that we have this in here nice and dark, or underneath. We don't have to paint around our flowers. I'm going to get the darker color and just go right up underneath where that starts there, and then I'm going to do a couple of lines through it for like the creases that are in there. Go ahead and zoom in and tight on one of these. And
oh, I've fallen for this before.
there, that's good. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to use this darker color to start with. And I want to be sure that I'm even with my edge of my brush there. Get some of the lighter color. Those little patchy brush strokes. And then this one has burnt umber tones in it. Burnt sienna. Kind of rusty. Go right up underneath. Shadow there, a little shadow right here. Across. Another one up here, high. And just a little bit down from it. Try to keep these square to the top edges. And then use that dark color to do our little rivets. There's little rivets. And there's some numbers and words, so I'm just going to kind of tap for that. And then go back in with my lighter color and just do a dab over the top of those rivets to pull them highlight out. Yeah, it pulls it right forward. And then go through the middle of the shadow line, if I can get it. Some of these, and pull that forward. All right. Let's keep on going here. How late are we? An hour and a half so far. Okay.
We are right on time. We're not late at all.
That's true. I figured this one would be 2.5 hours, so it's looking about right. The flowers won't take nearly as long as this part. This is just the kind of more detailed part, but if we take our time, we can really make this look realistic. And still painterly at the same time. Use some highlights here. Just brush some highlights on that. Let's brush some highlights on this one too. I can grab some of that burnt sienna. This one's very rusty looking. Use that burnt sienna. Grab some burnt umber here. And go in and make our details on our brushes. Grab some burnt umber here. It's like rusty patches all over this one. And looks like there's a couple of rivets. Let's put our rivets right here and here. And I'm just making these dots by just touching the tip of the brush straight down. There's a rivet on this brush right here on this wood part. Right there. And there's some details up high on that one. Use the gray on this one. I'm just dragging across slightly, very, very lightly here to add shadow there. I'm going to use, oh, I stuck my finger in the paint. I'm going to use a little bit of the darker color. There we go. And let's grab a little bit of that unbleached titanium while I got it on here. And we'll dab it on the centers of these. Pull those rivets out, make them look like they're three-dimensional. And we'll put this color, highlight color, over the top of the shadow here. You can kind of catch it right in the middle. It'll give it a lot of dimension. Now, all of these like little lines and details are things you could totally leave out. You could just do this kind of sideways, shadowing. You don't have to do these stripy things too. So there's a lot of ways to simplify this if you're, if you feel like, that's a little, I can't do that. Then, there's lots of ways to make it a little bit easier. I definitely do think I want to go back in and add more shadows to around these brushes. So I'm seeing where it needed a little bit darker, real close up to them. All right, let's do this one here. So grab some of that light gray. Being awfully quiet today, hon. So we got a lot of chat going on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. When I can tell when you're quiet and you're not talking to me because you're obviously busy.
Well, they're talking about food, so.
Oh, hello.
Duh.
Okay, well, that's a lot more exciting than what I'm doing. This Mark's like a squirrel. It's like food? What?
What?
Did you say food?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what we're doing for dinner.
Ooh.
I don't know yet. Oh, man,
some
the
light
sun's
here.
out. The first day the sun's been out in like a week in rain, and
And you're in here.
you got me working.
Sorry.
We should be painting outside on a day like this.
I can't paint outside with acrylics. They dry too fast. You can use open acrylics, I guess, if you have those. But
It always has to be about you. I mean, I can do sound out there, no problem.
you just look at me through the window.
Oh, that's an idea.
Sit outside and look at me through the window right there.
I'll run all the cables out through the window. And I just... Okay, they might be a little noisy right now, people, but just bear with us.
I'll be right back. Okay. The burnt umber here. And then this one also has some writing in it. Dab, dab, dab. I really don't need to worry about those shadows right now. We'll add those in later. Alright. And then get the lighter color. And dab in top of the rivets. This one's pretty much already done. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of detail across it. Get some of that gray. Oh, thank you. No, I'll move out over. That's about as far as I can go over. Is that enough? No, that's fine. Yeah, I got the end one there. Okay. Thank you. Got some of that Phthalo blue and do dark brown with it. For our dark color on this one. There we go. And yeah, so it's got several lines in it. And I think it says something in here, so I'm just going to kind of try to very lightly just kind of dab, dab, dab like it's something's there. A couple of rivets here and here. And let's use that teal. Put some patches of paint, highlight shine on our rivets, which they're painted over, so they're not super shiny. So I can put like a little teal there to, there's paint on top of it. You're not seeing this super shiny silver. Grab some burnt sienna, mix my light gray with that. I still have a little bit of blue on my brush, so that's all right. Just wanting to get down some sort of a gray here. Burnt sienna. And just very lightly kind of running that through that wet paint from side to side. Let's grab some burnt umber. Do our shadows, so just a straight line right underneath, and then come up a little bit and do another line. Come up a little bit, do another line, and another one up here. I've got a lot of paint on my brush. Well, I am not pressing down very hard. And then do our little rivets here and here. I'm just going to wipe my brush off, grab some of the gray, light gray here. Highlight those rivets and add some streaks of highlight in our brush area. Go right over the top of that dark line. Okay, that's good. Let's get a little bit more white and add just a bright white right here. I'm going to add a little bit of bright white to this guy too. And I'm going to bring this guy up now that I see there's some flowers coming down over the top, so I want to make this a little bit higher. There's room for those flowers to come down over. There we go. And then there is a bright highlight right down here and here. Gonna figure out where just come just inside where that.
Okay, here.
Oh, sorry. Right here. Just inside where the shadow is going to be. Just adding some shine there. Sorry, Ann.
It's okay.
At least I'm paying a little attention.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you caught that.
Now on to the loud truck segment of the show.
What show was that? That was so funny. We had one of our neighbors, the whole show was just going through the neighborhood with his loud truck sounds.
Yeah.
We're joking. Mark's Prius was.
I think it was the horse painting, the
Yeah.
white horses.
Oh, that was awesome. You got them beat, honey.
You know, it's a fan favorite. Coming up in a few months, the other segment is the lawnmower segment. Too, so that will be going on pretty soon.
Yeah, that will be happening soon. So stay tuned for that. That's awesome.
Like, subscribe, hit your reminder.
Love it. I'm going to come right down from that. Add a highlight on my brush handle right there. Alrighty. This one really didn't do much with the brush handle. So I'm going to get some burnt umber here and just add little streaks to this guy. They're kind of watered down, so I'm just pushing them around, put them down, and then wipe my brush off and then pushing that paint around. There we go. Dirty it up. So it matches the other ones. Alright, this one has got a lot of just white. Pretty clean. And I mean, I thought about doing just one of these, honestly. I mean, or two, but they're so different. I liked that they were different, you know. So this would be a lot. If you want to, you know, simplify again, you could do it just one or two on smaller canvases, or even do one big one on a canvas like long ways. It would be cool. Grabbing some burnt sienna, burnt umber. Let's add our shadows. Shadow there. Stripey. Stripey. Stripey.
Stripey.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Paper towel tearing.
Yep. Grab some of that lighter color here. Go on top of the shadow. Pull that forward. Grab some burnt umber.
Somebody suggested that this might work good for a wallpaper border.
Ooh, that would be cool. Well, I should make, yeah.
You put that in your store.
I should. I have wallpaper online on Spinflower. This would I need to do that. Good idea. They don't have borders though. They just are available on with, you know, rolls. So, but it still would make interesting gift wrap and stuff. There's gift wrap and fabric. Definitely should make one of these into a fabric. Grab some of that burnt umber, burnt sienna for kind of a rust color. I'm just going to kind of dab that into this wet paint and add little rusty spots. Spits. Sorry. These are awesome. I love it. Sorry. Okay, I had to get that out. So awesome. Okay, I'm better. That was building up for a while there. I know, I'm weird. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why I like you.
Okay, good.
Well, one of the many reasons.
All right.
We know it's not for your quesadilla skills.
Hey. Hey now. There's a low blow. Go with blue here. Adding dabs of blue. Just different colors. Like something's happened over here. We got a little paint on it. All right, one more. Do one more little highlight with the rivet here with the bright white. Just on a few of these. There we go. What was I off again?
No, just
Okay.
they look pretty awesome.
Getting seeing them all far away.
You can almost just pick one right off the canvas right there.
Yeah, they are really coming out pretty good. That shadow underneath really makes a big difference. I'm glad we did that first because now you're really seeing it.
All right. Stop patting yourself on the back.
What?
They're not that good. No, just.
Oh, sorry. Was I bragging?
Like,
Was I humble
yeah.
bragging?
Oh, yeah, they're
They're
pretty
all right.
amazing, aren't they? That's what I paint when I don't care what I'm painting.
All right. Sorry. I've been excited about this for months. Like, I did this, I can't remember when I did this, at least two or 3 months ago. I made this, but I was waiting for the right opportunity. I think it was right in the middle of all the Christmas stuff, and I'm like, And I was already, like, fully scheduled, and I found this photo and created this, and so it's just been sitting in there, like, taunting me. Like, you want to paint this. You want to paint me. It's like so excited. I'm finally getting to do it.
And that's what's important, is that not only you're painting, but you're painting what you enjoy to paint.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it makes that much more fun.
For sure. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people that have opinions about what you should be painting.
Mm-hmm.
I've painted a lot of things I didn't want to paint when I first started out because I either needed the money or, didn't want to say no to a friend. But I really have found that you really need to just, in order to kind of last with art, because there's been a couple of times when I've kind of burned out and not painted for several months, given it up. I almost gave it up for almost 2 years for a while there when I was pregnant with Spencer and went to work full time at a regular office job before I got pregnant with him. But, I just was painting stuff that I wasn't really passionate about. So I get complaints sometimes from people who want me to paint certain things. And I'm just like, dude, I'm going to paint what I know now in hindsight, I've burnt out before, and I know that if I don't stay true to what I want to be painting, I won't last doing this, especially doing it 3 times a week. I do it twice on YouTube and once on Facebook, so it's a lot of paintings, a lot of creative energy being spent, and if I don't spend it on things that I am passionate and excited about painting, I will not want to paint anything at all for a while.
Right.
So
yeah.
you just don't. And don't do that to yourself, because you will. It's the same for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just regret going to work each day. And it's like, oh gosh, I got to go and do that again. I'm not going to like that.
And I have done that. I've done collaborations where it's just like, oh, I don't want to paint that. Like it wasn't my thing that I picked, and somebody else sort of picked the theme, and I had already agreed to doing it. And then when I got into doing it, I just was not into it.
And it still turned out awesome.
Well, I always feel like, I don't know, on painting like that, I think your attitude comes across in your paintings, even if even if it looks good, you still have that feeling associated with how you felt when you painted it. So every time you look at it, you're just like, ugh. Even if it turned out okay and it looks good, it's just like, at least that's me. That's how I am.
Oh no, I really do believe that. I mean, you've helped me come a long way in my appreciation of art, for sure. And I can say that, there is definitely a different feeling about, your painting grandmother, just because of the emotion.
Oh, right,
in it,
right.
And it does show.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah.
When like here, you can tell that you're happy, you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying the time, and, it's just really coming out really awesome.
Yeah. You said it. I didn't.
And the fan said that if they were here, they'd be patting you on the back.
Oh. Awesome. All righty. There we go. So let's let that dry. We'll come back to these and add our shadows to them later. But let's go ahead and start on our flowers so that we can let these fully dry before we do our finishing touches on our brushes. So what I want to do now is just take a damp cloth and wipe all my chalk lines off if I have any still visible. Most of them are gone, but there's still a few. Just help us see what we've got here, Yeah. Good. All right. So if you wanted to do just regular brushes and you didn't want to do flowers, what you could do right now is just go in with, I would go in with a burnt umber and do lines through with like a burnt umber, like this, and just fill in that whole kind of thing in, and then go back in with like a unbleached titanium or something like that and do individual hairs of the brush in a highlight color over the top, and maybe 2 or 3 browns, and then you could even dab on paint or whatever on the top, to make them look like brushes if you wanted to do that, if you want paint brushes. So that's an option, but we're going for the flowers. So I think I'm going to use a little bit bigger brush. This is a 3/8 inch angle. Going with the yellow green, and I'm going to add burnt umber to it to darken it up. Cashmere is gotten loose from Spencer, obviously. You hear it clawing?
Yes. Hey, one of our super fan Dave.
Mm-hmm.
That actually pretty good. Says that this is a good tutorial if you want to brush up on your skills.
That's pretty good. You've been hanging around Mark too long, Dave. I think he's rubbing off on everybody. She's not giving up.
Maybe if we're just real quiet, she won't think we're in here. Watch it as a whisper. Maybe she won't go.
She hears you.
Where's that water bottle? Maybe go spray.
Stop. Oh, now she's meowing. Can you hear her on camera? Cashmere. Kitty. Maybe Spencer heard her finally, picked her up. Or she gave up. Okay, up here on this one, I'm going to just do little dabs at the top. So kind of do them solid, and then like some of these I'm doing kind of more like grasses. And then this one, the flowers are kind of amongst this greenery that's sort of... Nope, she didn't give up. She's still there. Sounds so pathetic. Grab some yellow. Create a lighter green. You gotta just dab. Use a tip. I'm pointing the tip straight down. I'm just dabbing and kind of letting some of them be a little bit larger than others. There. There we go. Here I'll do some. These ones are kind of blades, so. Putting little highlights on them. This one, I'm going to kind of use both colors. There's leaf that kind of comes down over the top. And then greenery that kind of shoots out the sides a little bit. Do we need to zoom in? Can they see okay? Okay, that's good. Okay, this one's our grape hyacinth, I think these are called. We have them in our yard in the spring. They're so pretty. But they're teeny tiny. All right, get some yellow here. Just gonna put some highlight through some of these. Add some highlights to some of these other leaves over here. These ones are kind of bigger leaves, so I'm going to just come in close to the rim and tap in a line, and then put some leaves in and some stems coming up from it. Like that. They're all a little bit different, which I kind of like. Oh, this one. Whoops. I was looking at this one over here. Oh, well. It's close enough. Grab some yellow. We come back down over the top of the thing there in a couple spots. This is the one that's got the little lines. And I'm not cleaning out my brush, so it's got all these different colors on it. So depending on how hard I press, or how I turn it, I can get different colors without having to reload and put new colors on my brush. This is the one that's got. So do the stems, and then there's some leaves that are kind of over the top as well. This will be our pansies. And then this one. Mostly just leafy stuff. Kind of a little clumping flower. So kind of dab. Like that. Dab a few over the top of the edge. Alrighty. This one's got longer leaves that kind of come down from the flowers, so I'll go ahead and put those in. Oh, right here. Okay. All right, so now I think I'll start with the Filbert here. Let's do my poppies, some of my larger flowers here. I'm going to get a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta and the Cadmium Red Medium. Mix those together for bright red. And it's going to be this one. So I'll go ahead and start low and just going to do the ones that are close to the edge of the brush first. They're really crowded in close together, so you're not seeing much of the individual flowers. We'll add some definitions to some of these here in a minute, but to start with, you're really not seeing a whole lot. I'm going to grab some purple here and do some centers for some of these. Some shadows between some of them. back. I think she's doing on Spencer's door now. There, I made a pink. And I think I'm going to probably let this set before I do too much more because it's so thick with paint right now. But there we go. There's our poppies. Oh, he's cute. I'll add darker to them as well here in a minute. Okay, so the only other one that I really want this larger brush would be my pansies, I think. So let's... Oh, nice.
What did you just do?
I just dropped my paper towel in there. I was moving this other paper towel and I dropped my other one in the wet paint. Okay, so I'm going to grab the purple and yeah, pretty much the purple. Grab some white, make a light purple over here, and start at the top here and just kind of do two large there and one big one at the bottom. She is not giving up. Just find Spencer, get him to... Yeah. Let's zoom in on this. I need to see it. The anatomy, I think. Look at my reference photo close up here. Okay, so there's two big ones back. Two big petals back here, and then three smaller ones. 1, 2, 3, like that. Trying to get kind of the basic outline of some of these petals, right? I'll do one a little higher here. Sounds like Spencer finally came out and got her.
Yeah, I sent him a text.
Oh, did you? It's like, she's been knocking at our door for the last 10 minutes. Oh, he's got his headphones on. He can't hear her. Playing video games in there, so he can't hear what she's doing. Okay, there we go. Get some light. This is where I'm going to use that light ultramarine blue for some of this. White. Highlight around the top edges of some of these. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to get that really dark purple and do those right in the centers. There we go. Keeping these very blotchy, kind of very, like, not super defined. And then we'll add our little yellow centers to them here in a minute. And I think that's all I want to do with that brush. So I'm going to go back to the 1/4 inch angle. Or actually, let's go ahead and use our round brush first. Do some of our daisies, or zinnias, the zinnias that are right here. Grab some of that pink and white and Quinacridone Magenta. Make a pink. I'm going to add a little bit of that Cadmium Red Medium to make it more of a peachy color. Make a darker version of it. And I'm just going to pull from the outside in. And then use the highlight color to do multiple on top. And then use a little bit more of the magenta for this one up here. Clean that out. A little bit of the lighter pink just inside. Then let's use some yellow. Grab that cadmium yellow medium. Maybe a little bit of yellow oxide. Maybe a little tiny bit of that cadmium red medium to make a dark yellow. Everything okay?
Everything's great.
Okay.
How are things on your side?
Good. I don't know why I'm moving this down. I want to move the picture down up there. I wanted to move my reference photo down. I'm moving my canvas down. It's not helping. Didn't help at all. It's like I can't see what I'm supposed to paint. All right, grabbing some highlight color here. And if your yellow is not covering your canvas, do white first or add some white into your yellow, and that will make it more opaque, and then you'll be able to see it to do this. So grabbing some bright cadmium yellow here. Some of the light white version. just dabbing that tip and pulling it towards the center. I'm not really pressing very hard here. And then there is a white. Really kind of closer to the cream. There, and then up high there's an orange right up in here. It's going to do him kind of small. I think I'm going to make this pink one a little bit farther over, a little bit bigger. Grab some of that quinacridone. I think I'm going to move this one over just a little bit. There. Mix a little bit of white with it. So the zinnias are like, they stack. So they get, the petals get smaller and they stack on top of each other and towards the center. So let's get the centers in there. I'm going to use burnt umber. Maybe a little bit of the Cadmium Red Light. Maybe a little quinacridone. Dark reddish color. Dab that in. Some of these we're seeing from the side, so you're only seeing, they'll look like an oval, kind of if you see them from the side. If you're looking at it straight on, it's going to look like a circle. So just keep that in mind. These ones that are kind of pointed away from us are going to look more like an oval shape. All right. Let that dry and we'll add some centers to it. That one a little bit bigger too. All right. And then let's use a little bit of the cadmium yellow straight for this guy. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to my, dip those back in the water so they stay damp before I, don't want them to dry out before I get the chance to clean them. I'm going to do some of these pink ones over here, so I'm going to grab that Quinacridone Magenta and some white. Lighten them just a little bit, keep them fairly dark. And do these clusters, so I'm just going to tap straight down to do my blossoms. So each tap is going to be a flower. they kind of cluster in these little clumps. Like that. And then let's grab some light white and add some of this in the centers. And I'm dabbing in through that wet paint, so it's kind of mixing a little bit. What?
Is that an angle brush you're using right now?
Yes. Yeah. It's a 1/4 inch angle. And then at the centers of them, there's a darker, so I'm going to grab that straight quinacridone and do little centers on some of these. Not all of them you'll be able to see the centers, only the ones that are kind of facing towards us. So just a few of them. I don't call that good. And I'm going to use, while I'm working on this one, I'm going to use the number 1 round and add some spikes to these leaves. Just a few of them. Really don't need a lot of detail there. And I think I'm going to use that color too to add some more stems to some of these, just a few. Add some leaves poking up through. And anywhere else here that you need it, but I think these are pretty good. All right, so let's add our centers to our yellow centers to our pansy. That's dry enough now, it should be. And then I'm going to use some of this Quinacridone Magenta with a little bit of purple added, but keep it fairly light. And I'm going to use it to kind of outline some of these petals here, just a little. A little bit of that color in there. pull down through. Oh. Shouldn't have messed with them. They were fine. Going back with the light purple here. Defining some of these petals. Adding some bright highlights on some of these. Here we go. Now this is just thinned out purple there. Okay, I'm going to leave that. Stop. So for the hyacinth, I'm going to use Ultramarine Blue. And dab it straight down. Create my petals, or the little, whatever they are, they're clusters of little petal-like things. And this back area, I'm just going to kind of dab in sort of where I'm seeing the flowers, so that there's something underneath all of them. Dark purple, blue. And these are going up above, really high. And kind of fanning out the sides. Like that. All right, then let's use the light purple or the light ultramarine. Mix a little bit of that darker blue in there. And do it again, same places. Only this time I'm going to try to define some of these flowers that are overlapping one another.
What is the mixture for that blue?
This is ultramarine blue plus white in various strengths. It's just ultramarine blue, pretty much, and white, which is what I just said. Why said it twice?
So what you're saying is that you put some white in the ultramarine blue?
Yes.
Different amounts?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass
Basically
that.
white and ultramarine blue.
I'll pass that on.
Thanks. All right, so there we go. Now let's grab some white. And I'm going to overlap the really light white just on a few that I want to really bring forward. So just a few of these I want to make look like they're overlapping the rest of them. See how that brings it forward? So just on the very tips is all I need to do it on a few of them. Makes them look like they're top of the hill. That's good. And then let's use this color. Down here, we'll use yellow. So let's grab that yellow. See if I've got any of that. Don't have much of that dark yellow left. That was just a little bit of that Cadmium Red Light mixed in with it. And I'm going to, where are the spots? I'm going to dab in little daisies with this brush. Just a little baby daisies. And yeah, looks like they've got kind of fuzzy edges. And then let's use the burnt sienna for the centers.
Man, those look like flowers.
And then little bits of yellow around the edges. They look like flowers. Good.
Yep. The people in chat want you to know that they're loving it.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Thank you.
And they're encouraging you to keep up the good work.
Good. Thank you.
I know you were thinking about doing bad work.
Slacking off.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking this is about the time I want to slack off right here.
But
keep it up.
We're
keep
behind.
up the good work.
Exactly. We're behind you. 100%.
Good.
It's kind of like a marathon, except we don't have to run.
Yeah, I like that idea. That's my kind of marathon.
And to think there's some people in this world that can run a marathon in the time that we spent painting the painting. I'm sure they didn't have as much fun as we did.
Probably not. I added a little bit of the cadmium centers of my flowers there. So those are pretty much done for the most part. Let me add, and then let's go back over here and do the same thing on this one. So I'm going to add this color, the centers of our zinnias. Just dabbing little dots of that light orange. Okay. And then I need the bright yellow. Paints are getting sticky. Add some bright yellow. Dab, dab, dab. There we go. Really was kind of almost off there, but not quite. Got lucky. And I'm going to grab some more of the white and do some more white stripes on this guy here. Make sure it's nice and bright. Do some light pink. Around those, brighten those up. A little bit of this light orange on here. There we go. I'm going to grab some of that darker Cadmium Red Light. Whoop. A little too thick. And then grab some yellow. Do some bright yellow. All right. So this stuff's pretty much done. Got a few more things to do on this half. Let's go ahead and add our darker. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to the black. And add dabs in the centers of our poppies with this. Just those three, really. Maybe a little tiny bit right there. And then the center, kind of a blue-gray, so I'll go ahead and use this color. I'll just do a dab of that in the centers of those. It might be too bright, we'll see when it dries. And then I'm going to use the bright red, and if I need to, this is where you can decide if you need more, if you did enough the first time around, but I'm going to use some bright red to add some highlights to some of my poppies here. Bring out some of the petals a little bit forward. That really vivid red. I think that's good. Okay, let's do this one. It's got some phlox, it looks like. I think that's the name of this flower. They're kind of star-shaped clumps. This one's overlapping the brush handle a little bit. And a little bit up here. Doesn't go very high, so keep this one kind of low. There, get some white. And find some centers for some of these flowers. Just dab in a little bit of white in that wet paint. There we go. And then I'm going to switch to a smaller brush here and get my white out. What time have we? Ooh, we're 2:40.
I'm on overtime right now.
Yeah, I see that. Just do some little daisy shapes here. The white. Get some yellow, do the same thing with that. Really, you could do any kind of flowers you wanted to in here. Doesn't have to be these kind that I'm doing. If you like the poppies, you could do poppies on all of yours. Let's get some yellow oxide with the Cadmium Red Light here. Use that for our flower centers here. And grab some yellow with yellow oxide, some white. Dab the centers. Little highlight. Those ones are good. It looks like there's some little pink that comes off the side over here that I missed. So do a few little pink there. Maybe a little bit of extra green. Mix some of that phthalo green in there with it. And just add a little greenery around our flowers. Good. Let's see if we need more greenery anywhere else. I think these are pretty good. Might add a little highlights onto some of these. Those are all good. Okay. Gonna grab some phthalo blue over here, maybe a little bit of purple, and do some spikes. And these are going to be pretty tall, a little taller than our other flowers here. Not sure what these are. These might be... I'm trying to think of the name of those flowers that grow spiky, thin spiky. It's almost like a lavender, but not quite. Grab in some white here. Maybe too much white.
Quite nuts. No?
What?
Never mind. You missed it.
Okay. Keeping those pretty tall because I want to leave room for my daffodils. So let's do our little purpley flowers that are down low. Grab some purple and quinacridone. Kind of fuchsia. Mostly Quinacridone, just a little bit of purple and some white. Do those down low here. And a little bit peeking through over here. Grab some of that darker color. Grab some white and a little bit of yellow.
Somebody suggested lupines.
Yeah, might be. I think these ones over here are closer to lupines or blue bonnets. Oh, I can't remember what I'm thinking that they are. Okay, these are small little daisy-like flowers. So I'm just going to tap some kind of fuzzy edges around them. Try to leave a little bit of space between them so they don't all turn into a big white blob. And then grab some more of that white and do one petal there, one petal here, one petal here, and then there is the center. There's another one here, but there's a red flower right here that's going to cut off part of it. And I'm going to grab some yellow. Do some yellow in the center of that. Oh, that is a lot of yellow. Scoop that up. There we go. Bright, bright white right here, right along that tip. And then let's use that yellow, bright yellow, a little bit of white mixed in to make it more opaque. And we'll do it right here. So one petal right there, one petal right there, one there, one here, one here. And I'm going to use that darker. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of that orange to mix with my yellow to darken it up for the center of that. It's really hard to get any definition on these super light flowers like this. You kind of have to work in very close values, very subtle value changes. Grabbing some white with my yellow here, and I'm going to try to dab that around the center of it, that flower. We'll let that set. I don't know. Those are not super defined in our picture. A little bit darker yellow there for the centers, just to make them stand out a little bit more. And then let's grab some of the red and some of the Cadmium Red Light. And we'll put in our red kind of tulip shaped flower right here. It's really, I made it bigger than it was. smaller than that. There we go. Some black. Do the black in the center. And then do some more of these white flowers all the way around everything. In between, now that we know where everything's going, we can kind of fill in with some of these. And there's some kind of sage blue. I'm going to grab a little bit of that blue and some white here, a little bit of green. Do some leaves right here with that color. So I'm going to add some of these spiky flowers a little higher since my daffodils covered most of those up.
I got a good question here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, how do you keep from focusing on one area for so long?
How do I keep from doing that?
Yeah. Because some people have commented, before that you kind of move around the painting before one section is finished. Is it because that you're looking for similar colors, or?
Yeah, a lot of times I'm looking for similar colors and just want to use this color up while I've got it on my palette fresh. And other times it's that I want to let something dry before I do something else to it, so I may need to let a color dry like I did with the poppies, let them dry completely before I did the finishing touches on them. So there's kind of a few different reasons. But yeah. Grab some yellow, a little bit of that orangey color, yellow oxide here. And do some centers for these daisy-like flowers in here. And also my purpley flowers. Okay. Those ones are a little bit more kind of sloppy. Didn't really define them too much. You can go back in and kind of define. There we go. Sorry, that my footrest makes weird noises when I move my feet.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that sounded nothing like that.
Okay. All right, going back in with brighter yellow there. Some white mixed in. Hopefully this is dry enough to kind of do a second coat. There we go. There, now it's kind of sticking out a little bit more for us. I'm going to use some of this bright yellow on our flowers right here too. Just give them a second coat, brighten those up a little bit.
Hey, people have suggested maybe salvia for the flower.
Yes, that's the one. Yep, that's the one.
Oh, we got a winner.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I was thinking it looks like.
At first, I ignored it in chat because I thought it was just a misspelling of saliva. I thought it was a very interesting thing that they just said saliva. Okay, that's whatever. Somebody might have, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, I'm sure.
Green hair. That's funny.
Then I got called out and then informed that no, it's actually a flower. So.
Oh, so you were making fun of them for saying
well,
saliva?
No, I did not make a fun at all. until I got called out. And I was like, oh, well, okay. Well, it's something I've learned new today that I'll forget in an hour or two. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's just some flash memory that'll go. We're done here.
I'm going to add some highlights to these flags here. They dried kind of dark, so I want to brighten them up just a little bit. Okay, let's finish up these last ones here. So we've got the right color on here too. I have some of the Quinacridone Magenta and white. And I'm going to put in a long stem and dab in on either side of it. Really, this needs to go up over here. Like that. Grab the purple, a little bit of blue. Do one there and do one right in the middle, right here. This one's a little bit higher. So it starts out really tight, like really close dots. And then pretty quickly it kind of flares out and you get these little petals that are coming out wide on either side. And this pink one's in front of this purple one here, so I'll have to cover up some of it. So make kind of a medium version. Do some more kind of a medium. See, and I put the purple one over here. So I could have put it here and had the spiked ones here, but I moved it. Zoom out, hon, so I can explain this. Please? Sorry. Like, zoom out.
Let's go over there, lazy boy.
If I'd put the purple one here, that would have been very purple centric. Like there, it'd be kind of top heavy purple over here. So that's why I put them, kind of balanced them on either side. Did the blue in the middle. And then the reds are kind of my pop of color, so they're kind of just right here in one spot. But I also have it in the handles that are all the way out to this side too, so they kind of balance as well. And then the yellow here and the pink over here, pink, 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 pink. Pink's kind of all the way through almost. And then the yellow here and yellow here. So if I didn't have this yellow here and did like a blue or something else, you can see how without this yellow, it kind of looks really dark over here. So that brightens it up, brings them all. So I'm just a little composition info there. That's why I placed these flowers the way that I did. It was very kind of strategic going on. Strategic placement of some of these so that they balanced out visually. And then let's grab some yellow and green here. The very tips of these have some green. Light green. Here we go. Not as much on the blue ones, but this really visible on these pink ones. Comes down pretty far. And there is some of the green kind of peeking through. Some places on the stems too. Just go in there with that. And the center stems of these are really magenta, so I'm going to put some magenta in here too. Add some of that to my flowers. Going up. And then grab my purple. Add that on top of the centers of these ones and anywhere else that I need a little pop of dark color. And then there's like a little white-ish center on some of these, so I'm just gonna dab a little bit of, wait, let me do a little bit more pink over here on this one. And I think I want to do a little bit brighter pink on these. They dried pretty dark. That quinacridone dries fairly dark. It's such a strong color. It really kind of bleeds through the light when you lighten it. It takes a lot of white to tone it down. So I'm going to start with white and just do the tiniest bit of quinacridone in there. Very, very soft pink here. I'm going to do some very bright on those. I already kind of did some right there on that one. And then I'll do it on these flowers here too. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of this light pink, mix a little red into it. Use it a little bit on my few of my poppies here. Just add a little highlight on a few of these poppies. Bring out the shapes. All right. And then let's use this bright red. Go ahead and zoom out now, hon. Use this bright red on my
Zoom in or
zoom. Oh, I was already out. Okay, never mind. I was looking over here. Keep doing that.
Yeah, I have no control over your reference photo.
I know. I'm
sorry.
Here we go.
All right, they'd like to know if you could only do 3 of these.
Ooh. Oh, that's tough.
Which 3 would you do?
Okay, I would do the poppy just because I really like the red. I would probably do this one, and then I would probably do one that combines them too. So I'd probably do this one just to combine the colors. If I wanted 3 different colors, I might do Might do the pansy or this one. Or even this one. Have the 3 primaries. I don't know. That's a good question. This one would be good with the, like these 3 together would be good right there, you know. You could do those 3. I mean, pretty much you could kind of, you know, I think you'd be pretty safe to pair any of these ones that are set next to each other.
That's almost like saying, out of all your children, which ones would you keep?
I know.
I mean, that's just not fair.
It's not. Don't listen to them. Alrighty, so adding some more highlights here, just kind of the dried, and so now I'm kind of seeing where I might want a little bit brighter colors on my brush handles. All right, so let's do a little bit darker around our brushes. I'm going to use that burnt umber and black. And I am going to use the little bit bigger angle brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. My water is really dirty.
Is that a hint?
Creating mud now. We're almost at the end here.
Okay.
We're good. So loading the tip of the brush, have it kind of thinned out a little bit so it's fluid. Thinning out with water. And then I'm just dipping the back end here to clean it off. And I'm going to turn these sideways here and just run that really dark shadow right along the edge there. Oh yeah, we need to shadow our brushes. That's what I was going to do. Too, we need to shadow on the actual brushes themselves, not just beside them. This will really draw them out. And then when we add that shadow right up next to them on the brush itself, it'll really even more dramatic. And we can shadow along the side of the flowers too, so they're not left out. If you see that it's kind of leaving an outline, you can rub that off with your finger if you need to. Using the back end of the brush there to kind of take off any color. It helps too a lot. really taking much time with this. Usually I take a little more time loading my brush when I'm doing this, kind of floating, but trying to go fast here. You get the idea. All right. Now they're really standing out, and so I'm going to use this brush here, I think. I didn't end up using my smaller brush. I am going to, let me think of what color. Let's just go ahead and use a gray. So I'm going to use Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber, create a gray. I'm going to use my glazing liquid with it. So it's thinned out. I'll go right on top of my paint, my brushes, and just go right along the edge there, all the way down. I'm going to zoom in there, hon, so you can see this. See that? Okay. So I can't work this close, honey. You got to be able to see the whole brush there. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Well, and then I'm going to go on the outside of the circle there too. I got this one a little too close, a little too far out there. Go a little thinner on this edge here as it comes around. And then right here I'm going to do another circle, and I'm going on top of the paint. And then I'm going to go on this side a little thinner with that thin down paint. Just do the same thing over here, a little thinner. There we go. Very thin on that side, and a little bit thicker on this side.
So is this technique glazing?
Yes, we're glazing.
You're off camera. You're off camera.
Thank you. Do the inside. It's a subtle difference, but it'll really make a impact overall when you look at it. You need this kind of outside shadow to make these brushes look rounded and not flat. Paste it on, you know. The outside shadow helps, but this inner shadow also makes them even more dimensional. You can see the difference between the one I haven't done and the one I have done. It looks just that much, a little bit more rounded out. And I just picked a color that was sort of would work with all of these. So this gray is And it's got the burnt umber that's their shadow color too. So it kind of merges with that pretty well. It's not too different. And a little bit of it right here. Oh, I was off camera.
It's not my fault.
No, it's not. All right, let me do just a couple little extra things here. Another layer there. You can add a little bit of bright yellow centers to these. That little part that sticks out right there. A little bit more white on this one than it is on that one. Gonna do a few more petals on here. And I think we're done. What do you think? Do you think we missed anything? I'm pretty happy with it.
They look pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll call that good. Do full screen here, and we'll do a close up of all of them. There we go. Well, yeah, turned out pretty cool. I'm fairly happy with that, I think. The only ones I don't really like are the daffodils there. I don't know. Those ones, maybe. I don't know. I like them better now that I put the center parts in there. They were looking a little flat there for a while, but pretty fun. Hope you try this one. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, if you want to make it look a little shinier, too, on her, here I'm noticing that there's some spots where we could probably add some, use a glazing liquid. If I can get a clean brush here. Glazing liquid and some white. And glaze a little bit of white highlights over the top of some of these. Or even put a little metallic paint in there. But since we're doing such rusty, you know, kind of weathered brushes, using the metallics might be difficult. That's why I didn't go there. I thought about doing it, but I just decided not to because we'd be covering up a lot of it, you know, with other colors. So you would lose the metallicness once you kind of start covering it with other stuff. You just kind of lose some of it.
So we've had a couple people ask, where are you hanging this?
I don't know. Probably in the studio here. It'll probably be behind me on the wall in my art chats on Thursdays. You'll probably see it up there for sure. But yeah, this is not going anywhere. We'll be taking pictures of this and putting it on shirts and stuff too, I think. So it'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching with us today. Ooh, super chat. All right, I'll sign it while you're doing that.
Yeah, you got people who like you.
Aw.
Yeah, there's several super chats today.
Awesome.
So it started off early with, and I'm going to apologize because I'm sure I'm going to do no justice to their name. I'm going to say it's Jutta, Jutta. They're from Germany, and they just said hi, greetings from Germany. So thank you so
Awesome,
much.
thank you.
And then the next one was from Carol. She says, thanks, Angela and Mark. You make painting a wonderful experience.
Aw.
And then we have Nan. She had no specific comment, but thank you so much, Nan. And then we had Brenda, and she says, thanks for the lessons and the chuckles.
Oh.
Remember that candy?
Oh.
Chuckles?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I didn't give her any of those, but
Nan,
okay.
Brenda, who else?
Nan, Brenda, Carol, and Jutta.
Jetta. Okay.
And hey, don't stop. We're
okay.
still going. Don't cut this off, girl. It's my time now. I've been sitting here for 3 hours, and just stop.
I'm stopping. I'm
Okay.
stopping. It's all you.
All right. Then we have Darlene. She
Cool.
says, I just love Angela's creativity
Oh.
and that you two take your time to share it with us. And I love spending time with this lovely group of artists. Just makes my Saturday. Thank you all.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Darlene. And then we had from Jill, and she donated, and her comment was for cashmere.
Poor Cashmere. We'll go give her lots of loves.
Yeah.
She'll get lots of loves later.
And then there was one from Jeannie. She says, love this tutorial. You are awesome, Angela.
Oh,
Thank you, Jeannie.
thank you, Jeannie.
And then the final one is from Newfie, and she says, thank you, Angela and Mark, for all your inspiration.
Wow. Y'all are great. Thank you so much.
Thank
That's
you
so sweet.
so much. Amazing support.
Maybe I'll take you out to dinner tonight.
What?
Hashtag feed Mark.
Maybe I can get the supersized meal tonight.
We're just going back here and adding little shadows and highlights in our
Of
little...
course you are, because you couldn't let me have my time. You had to be doing something in the background, trying to get attention.
Okay.
So when you signed it, what did you sign it with?
That was my Sakura is the brand, Sakura, Pigma FB. FB is fine bold, I think, or fine black, I'm not sure. Fine brush.
Fine
That's
brush,
it.
okay.
Yeah, FB. So Pigma FB. So the Sakura Pigma are the like brand and marker type, and then the FB is the size. Because this is a medium brush is MB, and so I use the FB for signatures. And I have, I think, a 3-pack with the BB, which is bold brush, I think maybe. BB, FB, and MB in a set, a 3-part set on Amazon. So
The link down below the video, Amazon store.
Right.
Check it out.
Yep.
And the brushes, the brush guys.
Yep, at thebrushguys.com. Yeah, and then you just go to teacher recommended brushes from there.
The links down below takes you to what you have.
We're right at the top.
And the code Angela Fine Art.
Yep.
5%
yeah, use
off.
it. Yep. Code Angela Fine Art. Yep.
Save that money.
I know.
All right, so what are we doing Tuesday?
We're doing the cherry blossoms. It'll be fun. We're going to be using...
It's like the painting is... Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. Sorry.
No, I can see it. You can't. Oh, this way? Okay, there we go.
You go.
You tell me the wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
So Tuesday?
Tuesday, we're doing the cherry blossoms with Q-tips.
Ooh.
So it'll be really simple, easy.
Nice.
Be fun. I'm going to start out with a painted background, I think, for that one. So it'll be painted like a bright green color, like a lime or I'll tell you what color, though.
I'll post it in the Facebook group.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Okay.
So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching with us. This has been amazing. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for hanging in with us for 3.5 hours. 2.5, 3.5, close enough, right?
Whatever.
All right. It was worth it. I knew it was going to be a lot to do all of them, but I didn't want to leave any of them off. They were all too pretty. So I had to do them all. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.